Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Are you fully vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
No symptoms of COVID, I suppose?
No, sir.
May remove your mask.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
please introduce yourself to the board, highlighting your educational qualification and work experience, if any.
So, my name is Arpit Gupta. I'm a mechanical engineering graduate from IIT Roorkee. I have worked as a financial market analyst at Futures first in Gurgaon, and after that I left my job. I'm preparing for UPSC CSE.
Okay, Arpit, you are born on 9th December 1998, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
What is the significance of 9th December?
Sir, on 9th December, Constitutional Assembly met for the first time.
Okay, any other significance?
So, one other significance is that it's the birthday of Sonia Gandhi.
Okay, any other?
I cannot recall
It is
any
also
other.
celebrated world over as an anti-corruption day, isn't it? And you know, our country, the corruption has pervaded the entire country and it is eating into the vitals of our society. It affects health, it affects education, it affects justice, democracy, prosperity, development, everything. So, you are born on this day, is a big day for the world. How are you going to deal with this problem once you become a part of the Indian bureaucracy?
Sir, I'll try to keep myself integral throughout and follow the due process of law and try to be transparent and accountable to the system and find whosoever is doing corruption and try to follow rule of law to myself also and to others also.
Don't you think, Arpit, that those who indulge in corrupt practices don't follow the rule of law? They don't appear to be transparent?
So I think where transparency enters, corruption goes back. The biggest issue which we have been facing as a country since independence is that transparency has not been there and accountability has been replaced by the discretionary power, and this has led to the corruption. So I think, sir, these two are the principles which are much needed so that corruption can be reduced to a limited extent.
Okay. Apart from corruption, what are the issues being faced by today's bureaucracy in the country?
So there are multiple issues, like there is political interference in the bureaucracy, there is pressure on bureaucracy from multiple sides. For example, media is there, CVC is there, courts are there, and bureaucracy is having to balance many of the interests. Resource constraints is also there, and since climate change as a new issue is coming up, bureaucrats need to deal with that. And through the world, since world is going through technological revolution, we are now welcoming Industrial Revolution 4. So bureaucracy needs to be well acquainted with the technological aspects also. So bureaucracy is having a lot of pressure from all these sides.
Yes, Arpit, you have rightly said that now present day bureaucrats, they have to work with their hands tied behind their back. Then how do you expect them to transform the country?
So I think doing both has already been done by bureaucrats since the bureaucracy emerged. So it would not be a difficult task if bureaucrats remain focused on their service motive and try to promote the good of the country rather than promoting good of themselves.
Okay, thank you, Arpit.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit, you are a resident of Uttar Pradesh. Tell me the forest cover of Uttar Pradesh.
It's 6.88%.
And what should be the average?
UP envisages to have a forest cover of 33%.
So where have we gone wrong?
UP is a very populous state and people are living there. So we need land for agriculture, we need land for people living there, and also we are having many of the rivers. They wash away the forests also. And since we are having floodplains, it is a very fertile area. So many a times trees are cleared. So that's why it has been having a less forest since since I think more than 50 years now. So gradually we have been trying to push many initiatives so that we can increase the forest, but these initiatives had not been much successful because of the population pressure primarily, and because of the other factors which are coming due to the population pressure and the other issues, for example infrastructure development to cater to the population.
But why do we even need forests? So what is the utility value of forests?
Forests are giving us much of the economic value. Again, forest is something which is giving us the oxygen. So if forests are not there, how will people breathe? This is the basic. If we are catering to the population of say 20-25 crore people, we need them to get good amount of oxygen. We need to get them breathe in a good environment, and forests are some the places where the air gets filtered. They help in reducing pollution, they help in cleaning environment, they help in making us and they help in livelihood also of rural areas of UP. So they have multiple roles in our life, so they are very integral to our life,
our existence.
Yes.
So give me 3 or 4 schemes or programs or initiatives UP government has taken to save environment or for afforestation or for saving forests.
I don't exactly remember the schemes, but I know how they are being implemented. So 2 of the key schemes are afforestation along the Ganga plains, which has been promoted by UP government, and second is the plantation in urban areas. So UP has tried to increase its urban areas plantation by making it mandatory to have parks in some areas. So that has helped in increasing the urban forest cover, but that has not been to a significant extent.
What's the difference between tree cover and forest cover?
Tree cover is not in the recorded forest area, but forest cover is in the recorded forest area.
So do parks come in afforestation initiative?
Parks don't come in afforestation initiative, but they provide the tree cover, which is very much needed as a lungs for a city which is being a heat island.
You have also applied for CAPF.
Yes, ma'am.
How many services are there in it?
Ma'am, there are 7 services in it.
Okay. And which ministry?
It's under the Ministry of Defense.
It comes under Defense?
No, it comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. CAPF comes under Ministry of Home Affairs, sorry.
Home Affairs, okay. So ITBP is catering to which border?
It's catering to Indo-China border primarily.
And BSF?
BSF is catering to Indo-Bangladesh border and India-Pakistan border.
So what's the difference? Why we have 2 different forces for guarding nearly the same borders?
It's primarily because of the training and the terrain required. On India-Pakistan border, we are having skirmishes every now and then. And also on India-Bangladesh border, these borders are very sensitive from point of view of India. And on Indo-China border, we primarily have seen because of terrain, there has not been regular skirmishes. There was a war in 1962, and then after that again we saw something like that in Galwan issue. So I think that is one of the reasons, and then other reason is that people recruited are very different at lower levels. At assistant commandant level, people recruited are similar. But at lower levels, we can see in ITBP, localites are preferred, so that they can, since they are well acquainted with the terrain also, and they give us the local advantage of having local intelligence. So this is the primary. You
are also a web series enthusiast. Suggest 5 good series to me.
Ma'am, one of the series which I would suggest is Asur. Second, I would suggest is Raktanchal, which is based on how criminalization of politics happens. Then other is Breathe, Into the Shadows. And then one is not a web series but a documentary. It is based on a cricketer's life. It's Con Praveen Tambe. And one other is again a web series. It's called Patal Lok.
Patal Lok. Isn't it too much violence?
There is violence. It is there because people love to see it, but they are addressing very key social issues which we often ignore being a part of society, and we have never tried to reach to the bottom trying to understand how these issues have emerged.
Okay, thank you, Arpit.
Thank you, ma'am.
Arpit, you did your BTech in mechanical engineering. What's the use of mechanical engineering in administration?
So there are multiple uses. The basics of mechanical engineering start from optimization. And we as a mechanical engineer have been doing optimization since time immemorial, since the industrial revolution started. Secondly, the mechanical engineering is based on the concept of producing machines and trying to be more efficient. This is what administration also needs. Thirdly, mechanical engineering concepts like thermodynamics, like the planning, the industrial planning, and many other techniques are very relevant in the point of view of administration also.
What is entropy, and how does entropy influence negatively in a system?
Sir, entropy is an intrinsic property of a material, and entropy we generally expect entropy to increase if we don't give any external influence to it.
Okay, you are a student of mathematics. How your mathematical aptitude could be useful to curb corruption in administration? You born in the International Anti-Corruption Day.
So I think mathematics will help me in producing many of the pathways through which I can reduce corruption. I can give you a very simple example. If someone is doing corruption, we often tend to ignore it because there are lots of calculations involved. But we as an individual try to escape it because we are already having a lot of burden of bureaucratic work. But I as a mathematics enthusiast would try to go and look into it, what exactly are the details and how these mathematics have been creatively accounted some of the times, or some of the times false data has been entered because no one is going to calculate it. Secondly, mathematics has been basic to the technological innovations which have been taking place. Mathematics is basic to developing algorithms. So I can also try to develop some of the apps. Some of the IAS officers have done this also in practice. This has helped in reducing corruption because we can develop such algorithms which can make us aware of it.
How can we restore automation in the Panchayati Raj system for the better delivery of goods and services?
So there is a lot of planning needed and they need capacity building. So we can utilize community services centers.
So we can
to train
establish
them.
a web-enabled kiosk in the village area,
Yes, sir.
working with the vernacular language.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it?
We can. So that will also help in bringing people towards technology and attracting rural people towards technology. Since if their representatives are using technology, it will also penetrate down to the bottom of the society. And we can also attract them towards automation by showing them the importance of automation. That it can also help in hierarchical growth of their own personal life. So that will help probably attracting them.
Okay. You worked as a financial market analyst. Can you flash some light on your job profile?
So I, as a financial market analyst, was given the task of analyzing various data from 2007-2008 till the time I was working, so say 2019. And I was tasked with plotting various graphs so that I can understand the market patterns since 2008 till 2019. And based on that, I had to develop some algorithm and place trades in the market so that it can be well accurate.
Very good, Arpit.
Arpit, so being a financial market analyst, tell me the difference between the certificate of deposits and commercial papers.
So certificates of deposits are issued by a bank if someone is submitting to them something, and it is issued as a guarantee that they'll provide that amount at a certain date. Commercial papers are unsecured instruments. They are basically issued to take some loans, and they are issued by some of the credit-worthy companies. So that's the period of it is 7 days to 1 year. So the basic difference is the issuing authority, and also the aim of both the things are different.
Right, so fine. So tell me why in India we didn't have the kind of development that we see in America in the field of open market operations?
It's primarily because of the nature of Indian economy. We have opened up only in 1991, so we are developing as a capitalist economy. We are increasingly going toward it, but it is very gradual since we have socialist word in our preamble also, so we are trying to balance it.
What are the differences between the OMO that is used in America and that is there in India?
So the key differences are that open market operations in India are used primarily to provide government the money so that it can spend on some of the social initiatives, say social infrastructure or other fundings, so that poor.
That is one difference then.
And sir, in US, the main motto of OMO is to try to provide liquidity or to suck liquidity. So they have been doing it to manipulate their interest rates or say the value of dollar. So they are very much economy oriented. But in India, in our open market operations, we have been less economy oriented, but we are gradually moving towards it. For example, Operation Twist was started by US government in 2008-9, but now in India, RBI also thought of it, but it did not implement because COVID pandemic came and the plan was put off.
Any other difference?
So I don't think I can recall right now.
What about the people's participation in the OMO in America and people's participation in OMO in India?
Yes, sir. There has been huge difference. In US, lots of people are aware that there is something called open market operations and we can invest in government securities. But in India, it has not been that open. Only primary dealers and most of the financial institutions are participating in it.
Very nice. So how do you define financial literacy?
Sir, in my opinion, the ability to understand financial terms and the ability to have a applicative mind which can understand the banking transactions is someone who is financially literate.
Which committee in India has proposed to bring financial literacy as the first and the prerequisite for the social inclusion in this country?
I cannot recall.
C. Rangarajan. Alright, so tell me one thing, that why did he propose to actually have financial inclusion first to bring social inclusion in this country?
So it has much to do with the social structure of our society. Most of our farmers are debt ridden because they don't understand the financial transactions. They have been taking loans at a very higher rate. And then again, financial literacy is about understanding how the economy goes. So when we understand economy, we understand what is good for us. We understand how we can be productive and we can get more of the economy, a growing economy. So that is one way social inclusion is done. Secondly, the opportunity. If we understand the financial part of how economy is working, we have more opportunity to explore ourselves in various other fields, since we know the economic health of different sectors and their scope.
Very nice. So do you have domestic help in your house?
No, sir.
No. Have you ever seen
Yes,
in
sir.
anyone's else house?
Yes, sir.
So what kind of financial coverages are there for domestic help in our country?
I don't think they are covered under any financial as such schemes.
No scheme is there.
So as far as I know, I have not seen any domestic help covered under any such scheme.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit, recently Prime Minister was on the trip of 3 nations visit, isn't it? So, can you briefly tell me about the takeaways that we can have, from his tour?
So, sir, the 3 countries were primarily the Germany, the France, and the Denmark. So, in Germany, Prime Minister's key takeaway was that they should mutually move towards resolving Ukraine-Russia conflict. But Germany also issued a separate statement. So that was one thing, and we tried to work upon the green mobility, which has already been going on as a partnership between India and Germany. In France, we tried to emphasize on multiple aspects. For example, our space partnerships, for our science and technology partnerships, and we are trying to explore the nuclear energy partnership with France, since it was one of the first countries to have the nuclear agreement with us. And in Denmark, we tried to have meetings with all the Nordic countries so that we can have a common ground on green strategic partnership, which we have signed with Denmark. And we tried to have a good relation with Nordic countries so that we can understand their technological innovations and how they have done, how they have tried to go green, and also try to move our projects in Arctic. So this has
Yes,
been.
I got it. Arpit, recently, since you talked about the Denmark, and that is one of the Nordic countries, and we have seen that the Nordic countries, they generally perform better when it comes, the metrics in the social sphere are, you can say, the journalism, our media expressions, freedom of speech, and all that. They generally perform better,
Yes, sir.
and India lags behind that. If we leave population as one of the factor, what are those other constraints which makes India not to do better in those matrices which are being prepared?
So I would go with the multi-pronged issues which are there. India, first of all, is having a very diverse set of people, and most of us are not that politically aware. So we are less aware of our rights. So we are less demanding. Secondly, we as a society have been developing very gradually. And in Denmark, the people are very much politically aware. Their capitalists are also more of compassionate people who try to help there. And in India, the capitalism have been more of compliance rather than trying to be a part of social development. So these are the key differences. And also in Denmark, the democracy has been matured, has been developed, but in India it is still developing.
So you being a mathematician, can you apply some formula, or you can say the theorem which could be used for making Indian democracy to be mature enough in forthcoming years?
I would not say a formula, but I think calculus concepts can work there, because calculus concepts have been measuring the change which has been coming in a society. So if we use parameters such as the skill levels of the people, the political awareness, and various other
I can
surveys.
understand, Arpit, your anxiety related, with the not performing well in those indexes. But at the same time, India has also posed some, its, you can say, reservations. It has, put its own reservations, while the matrix calculation, comes as per the formulation. What are those concerns? Like, if we do take the Global Freedom Press Index, what is the India's current ranking?
So it's in 150s. I don't
150.
exactly. Yes.
So India has also concern, like, it would prepare its own?
So yes, sir. India has raised multiple concerns.
India has also opposed, the kind of the WHO's, the calculations of the death due to the COVID-19.
Yes, sir.
So how the mathematics, like, is going to be help in all those things?
So mathematics can help a lot in this, because see, those calculations are based on the mathematics, but the background concepts has not been in consonance for both the countries. See, mathematics can be used to manipulate things. For example, mathematics is being used by some WHO to make the data projections to 10 times of the official deaths. But India is saying that it is widely exaggerated and it is using its own mathematics. So the concept behind mathematics is something which is needed to be looked after. So this is, I think, one of the bigger concerns between both of WHO and India.
All right.
Arpit, as you know, India continues to be a tax non-compliant nation, isn't it? Honest pay taxes, dishonest make merry in our country. Okay. So on the digital platform in financial transactions, the country has been making rapid strides. So with the demonetization and with the implementation of GST, e-ways and all that, and reducing cash limits, reporting high cash transactions, some of the good things have been done by the country to ensure that our cash net expands. Then we have introduced Aadhaar, PAN, Jan Dhan Yojana and so on and so forth. Don't you think the time has come where we should go from taxing people directly to banking transaction tax concept?
So I think we are still at a very nascent stage of these transactions, and since government is trying to promote these transactions so that it can tap on those transactions, and the black money which is has been prevailing due to the cash transactions can be curbed. So I think we still need to go a lot of steps before bringing such a concept of banking taxing bank transactions, because we need to promote these transactions to a limit so that we can have much more data that we are currently having.
What could be a fallout if you go for banking tax transaction?
So there can be multiple issues. First of all, these transactions can go down again for the fear of tax official, because India is said to be a country where tax compliance is not that good. Secondly, people can again start using cash, which can give a boost to the black economy. And thirdly, India is having an informal sector as big as 90% of the workforce. So they are not even well integrated into the system till now. So taxing those banking transactions cannot even fulfill the revenue demands of the country currently.
Okay, thank you very much, Arpit. Your interview is over.
Thank you, sir.
Go now.
Thank you. Please.
Sit, Arpit. So, how was your experience, Arpit?
Sir, I don't assess myself while performing. So I just
This is going to be your first attempt at the UPSC interview?
Yes, sir.
First attempt. And which attempt is this overall?
Second.
Arpit, you are a wonderful candidate for the civil services. All the good qualities of a civil servant are there in you. In the half an hour session we spent with you, you really made an impact, and that is what is important. You can conclude that you are quite innovative. You can think out of the box. That is very important attribute of a civil servant. Then your cognitive intelligence and the power of analysis is also very strong. That is very important. Then the qualities of civil servant, as you know, there are many qualities. The test of your personality, not the test of your knowledge per se.
Yes, sir.
So, number one, honesty. Honesty and integrity. So, honesty of purpose is very important for any civil servant. So, one has to be honest, not only while talking, but also in conduct. All intellectual honesty, personal honesty, that is very important. Then your communication skill, another thing is your positive body language, your grasp over subjects, varied subjects. So, based on all those parameters, I think you are an excellent candidate for the civil services, and UPSC will love to interact with you. And if you don't get into any argument with the UPSC board members,
So I am not that argumentative.
you are not.
So
You are not. You are not. We have noticed that. That is why we say you are not. So you will get very good marks in the interview. Now, a few suggestions so that you further improve your performance. Number one, your physical attributes. Socks, I think, is very small. That you will take care.
So I forgot to
Okay,
have
so you take care of that. Tie also, I believe you are going to change the tie, or you will be keeping this tie only.
So I'm trying 2 or 3 ties right now. So I've got different reviews on different ties. So I don't know which one to use.
But the tie, I think, with this color, it doesn't go well. That is why. Either you change the blazer or you change the tie.
So I have 3 options of tie. One is a reddish one is this bluish one, and one is grayish. So I don't know which one is going to.
Reddish is a red or maroon?
Kind of maroon.
And the maroon should go well with this. So just try that also. That is our suggestion to you. And whenever you tell someone's name who is well recognized, who is well known, add either Sri, Srimati or G at the end. Sonia Gandhi you said. So Srimati Sonia Gandhi would have been more appropriate. And at times you have a smiling face, but at times that smile crosses the level of formality. It becomes informal. So smirk, as we call it, na? So that you have to slightly avoid. To look very formal kind of thing. Smile is essential. You must not face the board with a sullen face. It has to be a smiling face, which you maintain, which is good. But try to remain that only. Beyond smile, it should not go beyond smile. one or two things you uttered like, wait, I will tell you. So you are not supposed to be pedantic, you are not supposed to be teaching the board members. It happens in your flow, you might not have noticed that, but we sitting this side, we noticed that. So avoid because unnecessarily you create confusion in the minds of people about your sense of arrogance and all that, which you are not.
Yes, sir.
Which you are not. You are a very humble, polite person and a wonderful candidate, again tell you, with a lot of qualities. Just when you go for the interview, maintain your cool, keep your head on your shoulder.
Yes, sir.
And you will do pretty well. If you have done well in your maths paper, you will be ranking very high in the list of successful candidates.
Sir, I'm expecting very good marks in maths, but
let's see. But you are a good candidate for the civil services. UPSC will like to interact with you and will definitely get impressed by your qualities of head and heart. Okay, all the best to you. If you have any specific question to ask.
So I had just one question to ask. Whenever I'm speaking, so some of the times I start speaking a bit faster. So I try to be very slowish. I mean, I try to reduce the speed. So sir, that was okay.
Yes, we did not notice that you spoke very fast. But you see, if you start curbing your natural instinct, it will impact your natural performance also.
That's why I stopped in between some of the times, because I was not, I'm not habitual to speaking very slow. I'm habitual to speaking very fast. So that's why.
But if you speak fast or you speak slow, that is immaterial. But you speak to the point. Your answers have to be specific, to the point, and very succinct. And if you have to prioritize your answer, then collect your thoughts in your mind, and then you come out with your explanation. The way you speak, if you speak slow or you speak fast, if you don't speak sense, it doesn't make any sense,
yes,
isn't
right,
it?
Right,
as long as you are speaking kind of logically, then there is absolutely no problem. My only suggestion is, don't try to artificially kill your natural instinct, because everybody has his own style of speaking and all that. But your communication skill is excellent, no doubt about it, and a very humble way of delivery of a speech. If you can raise slightly your tone and some variation in your tone,
yes,
that will again add to your performance. So not a way of criticism, but if you can work on that, that will improve your performance. Otherwise, an excellent candidate. We have no doubt in our mind about your qualities. Okay, all the best to you. All the best.
And please take permission while entering to the board at the gate.
Sorry, I forgot.
So I spoke what it was.
But you must have only muttered those words.
Yes, sir.
So murmuring will not do.
Sir,
you have to be very loud.
I was a bit nervous, so that's why I was not able to speak very loudly.
So some amount of nervousness I can understand. But when you enter like a very positive person, with a smile on your face, radiance on your face, as I call, and we are almost there. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you.